Neonic Void Productions presents.
I'm gonna be fucking. God, I'm gonna be 40. Ugh. Ugh. Stop it. I'm gonna be 40 years old.
Yep.
That's disgusting. That's a hate crime.
You're like
That's
the
homophobic.
Crypt Keeper.
That's homophobic. That's homophobic. Why you gotta do me like that? That's homophobic. I'm calling the police.
Oh, be put on hold again. That's okay.
No.
I'm still on hold with PETA.
No.
For 2 crimes now.
Anyway, hi, welcome to Spookocalypse, where I'm fucking old and I'm done with it. Hi, I am one of your hosts, Theo, and of course we're joined with the crew, Matt Chairman, Bunyip, and Housekeeper, take it away.
All right. If you
As I fan myself with my bisexual flag fan from Pride.
If you like this podcast, make sure you follow and rate us on whatever site you listen to your podcast. Share with your friends. New episodes get uploaded every Saturday. Links are down in the description for other podcasts that are part of the Neonic family. Follow us on Twitter. Our handle is at Spookocalypse. That's at SPOOKOCALYPSE. We also have a YouTube. If you are from YouTube, hi, hello, welcome. Make sure you share, like, subscribe, and comment. If there's any spoopy things that you would like us to review or hear our opinions on, drop them down in the comments. Anything helps. We do spooky shit, and mints are going to be on the pillow.
Yeah. What's today's flavored mint?
Watermelon.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
And then there's a dancing skeleton in the corner of the room.
Jamming.
He's just living his best life.
Yeah, he's definitely just living his best life. So, welcome back to Spookocalypse. What's good? What's poppin'? Y'all miss us? Because, we still here. It's fine. I don't know where I'm going with this.
So weird.
Let's get into the movie. So we're talking about another movie today. Last week we talked about Prisoners of Ghostland. Again, if you're high, go watch that movie. This is another movie that you thought Prisoners of Ghostland was camp and weird. Girl, buckle the fuck up. Because
so fucking weird.
This movie we're talking about is an experimental horror comedy from the nation of Japan. Wow, we're talking about 2 films that deal with Japan.
Yeah.
This film's called House, and it's from 1977. It was released July 30th, 1977 by Toho. Toho, as you people know, if you're a fan of Japan and Japanese stuff, Toho is one of the big companies over there, and then, of course, they're the ones that released Godzilla. If you did not know, now you know. This film's old. But you don't really when you watch it, you don't think it's that old. Like it holds up pretty well. So, this film is directed by, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. Again, I never claim to know how to say certain names in foreign languages. I just don't. I just don't. No. Nobuhiko.
Let's see.
I do like Japanese though, because Japanese, the way you look at it, the way you see it, it's usually how it's said. Nobuhiko?
That's pretty close, I think.
Okay, bet. See, that's why I like Japanese, because how you look at it is pretty much how you sound it out. Obayashi? Yeah, Obayashi. Yumihiko Yobayashi is the director of this movie. And it stars, oh God, any famous people?
Not Americans, obviously.
Well, not, I mean, yeah, not Americans.
So we are not aware.
Well,
we have not watched too many foreign films.
There is an actress in here that plays one of the characters that is American. There is an American-born Japanese actress. The actress that plays Gorgeous, Kimiko Ikigami.
Yeah,
she was born in New York back in '59.
Interesting.
And House was her first film. And I'm trying to think, is she big over there? She wasn't in very many films. She's in the movie biz from like the 70s to the early 90s.
Yeah, various TV shows she's made a couple appearances in, but not anything regular.
Yeah, not anything huge.
Except for the woman of SRI.
Yeah. Then you've got the actress Miki Jinbo?
Jinbo, yeah.
Jinbo. She plays the role of
Kung Fu.
Of course, it's Kung Fu.
Yeah, there's like they have weird names: Kung Fu, Prof. I think it's short for Professor.
Yeah.
What is it? Yeah, there's a few names. Fantasy.
So wait, Kimbo. She
corresponds to a trait.
Yeah, the characters' names in this movie correspond with a trait that they have. That the group of girls gave themselves the nicknames of such traits.
Except for Mac. Poor Mac.
Except for Mac. Yeah. But yeah, Jimbo, she's been in films from the 70s up to as recent as 2013. And then I'm trying to think, is there anyone else that's big name that's something I would recognize? No, not really. I mean, some anime. The actress, Kumiko. Oh my God. You know who I'm looking at, right? Kumiko.
Yeah.
Oba.
She's been she's done a lot of anime. She's done. Yeah, no, it looks like she's done a few anime or some adaptations. But she's more TV, and she's only done a few films from like the 70s, 80s, and then 2000. So these actresses are pretty smaller actresses, are done more TV stuff rather than film. This seems to be a good chunk of the people's first film that they've ever done.
Yeah.
Oh, where do I even begin? So, this film takes place, and it starts in Tokyo, Japan. A young girl known as Gorgeous. Granted, all these girls have a nickname, as Bunyip said, because of a trait they have.
Gorgeous. I actually think that their names are actual names. It's just that when you translate them to English, they actually mean something else, and that's why they have names like Gorgeous and Kung Fu and stuff like that. Because I'm pretty sure I heard one of them call Kung Fu Kufu. So I imagine that's just a nickname. They just add the G and then it's Kung Fu because she likes Kung Fu.
Yeah, in fantasy they call Fanta.
Yeah.
Like the soda.
Like the soda, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just something I picked up from watching way too much anime and, watching this movie.
That's fair. But I think they do say that these are nicknames though in the movie.
Probably. Mac definitely is. That was said outright.
So, let's start off the film. You're in Tokyo, right? This is 70s all over it. Well, actually, not even. If someone didn't tell me this was the 70s, I might not guess this was the 70s, late 70s.
It
honestly,
felt like, I guess what I know about the American 70s, but in Japan.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that'd be hard to tell since we're not from there or have any idea.
True. Because the Japanese during the 70s obviously would have been different than the Americans in the 70s. And of course, this was after 30-some years after World War II and the introduction to Western culture to Japan after they opened up their borders again. There's a whole thing with that. And it's quite interesting, but this isn't a podcast about Japanese history after World War II. So, but if you were to watch this movie and not know this movie was in the 70s, you might not guess it was in the 70s because it visually it still holds up pretty much to today's standards. Like it looks good, like but you could tell it's in the background to like painted, like some of the old school American films you see here. Like the backgrounds are all painted and stuff, but it does it well. Like you can tell there's a style to this film. The way it's shot and constructed with the set pieces. And of course the buffoonery that's about to ensue. So again, this film will start off with the young girl we know as Gorgeous. She's called this because of her beauty, Avi. And she has plans for a summer vacation with her widowed father. He's a wealthy film composer who, of course, was away at that time in Italy on business. He returns home and he surprises his daughter by announcing he has married a woman named Ryoko Ryoko.
Which is odd because she didn't look Japanese to me. I don't know if that was just me or.
She kind of does. I don't know.
I thought because they had said something about him being in Italy, so I had assumed she was Italian, but.
Who is the actress that plays her? Let's find that out. Yeah, it's a Japanese actress. I mean, that's a Japanese name.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Hold up. Chinese? She was born in Tokyo, Japan in 1945. She's an actress known from she's Japanese.
Oh, okay.
Or at least she was born in Japan. Now she might she's Japanese. Yeah. Okay. So going back, so his father came back and he was married to another woman. Surprise, surprise. Weird, you go to Italy and come back with a wife. Gorgeous is shooketh by this, not happy about it. She goes to her room and writes a letter to her aunt asking to come visit for the summer instead of being with her father and his new wife. The aunt replies and says, come on over. And Gorgeous, of course, invites her 6 friends. Prof, as in like professor, as Matt Chairman stated. Melody,
Kung Fu, Melody, Fantasy,
Mac, Sweet.
Sweet. That she was like the first one to take it out, right?
I
barely remember her. I barely remember her.
From there, they arrive at the aunt's house. Basically, she invites them all, and they're like, "Oh my god, yes!" So they go.
No, you can't leave out the watermelon guy.
Oh,
they get off the bus,
watermelon guy,
and they're just literally in the middle of the country, in the mountains.
No, the watermelon guy is the gas station man in American films.
Hold on. Yeah. Oh, is he? Oh, no, yeah.
No, he's the equivalent of that.
Exactly. You're right.
He warns them. So they finally get to the location, like the mountain base. They have to climb like this hill, mountain, whatever.
And then they go into this like foresty area, and like where it just changes all of a sudden into his little store area.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of watermelons on shelves. And they're like, oh, look, watermelons. Let's get one. And they pick it up, and he's just steady like a creeper. Like the weird ass face.
He kind of he gives an ominous warning. And I'm watching this. I'm like, oh my god, he's the equivalent to the gas station guy from like Cabin in the Woods, or the gas station guy, or creepy store clerk in typical horror movies, giving you an ominous warning before the movie starts. I'm like, wow, he's the equivalent of that. Love that for him.
I mean, this
I
is the
love-
70s also, so this is where a lot of the tropes were, kind of made. in
It's
this era.
funny. It's funny that a trope like that made it overseas like that.
Yeah.
It's great. Love it. I was living at this by this point. So they buy a watermelon, and as they go up into the wooded area to go up to the house, he basically just says to himself, she says something about the woman, because I guess they call her what, a witch or some shit, or some warning that's she's gonna feed,
yeah,
and they're
the
never gonna
lady
come
of-
back down.
Something
or
about the
whatever.
lady of the house is gonna enjoy this or something.
Yeah,
like
enjoy
along those
them
lines.
because he obviously knows something they don't,
Yeah.
as the trope would suggest. So they go over to the house. They meet the aunt. They present. They give her the present of the watermelon, and then they take a tour of the house. Now, this house, red flag alert, wee woo, wee woo. This house is very old looking. There's a lot of cobwebs. It looks like it has been dusted or taken care of in like the last 20s, 30 years. Red flag. Who cares if the aunt is handicapped?
Yeah.
Still,
I don't know about you guys,
red
but
flag.
person in a wheelchair totally sets me off.
No,
creepy.
not even that. Oh my God. That's not what I meant. You fucking know it. But the fact the house is like 30 some years of like being unkept and shit, red flag. I'm sorry. When they're walking into a haunted house, sus.
Yeah.
So they go take the tour of the house. The girls leave the watermelon and the well to keep it cool, which I didn't know. I felt stupid after learning that, because I didn't know people put like fruit and stuff in wells to keep.
And it's only called a
refrigerated.
watermelon.
It's also a
I mean,
natural
no.
refrigerator.
I didn't
Yeah.
know
They
people
say it.
used wells as refrigerators, though. I didn't
had
know
to-
that.
I had to explain that to Zio as we were watching this movie.
I didn't know that was a thing. So
And I was like,
I didn't know
yeah.
either.
it makes sense, but I didn't know at the time.
Like, we're just too used to modern technology to think like, what did people do before this to preserve their food?
Exactly. It didn't dawn on me. Oh my God, they used the well. Because I know that people use well for like fresh water and shit. But I didn't know that they used it. People used it for like refrigeration. Didn't know that. I'm like, that's a cool fact I didn't know about. So they put the watermelon, tie rope around the watermelon. They put it in the well to keep it cool. So then later on, Mac goes out to go get the watermelon after they cook dinner and they eat or whatever. Mac goes out to get the watermelon and never returns.
Yeah.
And then from there, they're having a conversation about some shit that's not really that important. And Fantasy is like, they start noticing, wow, Mac has been gone for a while. And it's like, I'm gonna go find her and go get the watermelon. So Fantasy goes out to retrieve the watermelon from the well, and she pulls up the watermelon to discover, and this is what I knew. This movie's gonna be fucking gold. She pulls out Mac's head, and the head flies up and bites Fantasy on the ass. And then she starts twerking. I was done. I was done.
Choppy screen effect.
Oh, me and Housekeeper were living.
We
We were living.
just like howling at that point.
She was literally twerking. That ass was dropping it.
She was like, ah!
Throwing
As,
it back
her
for a
ass
real
was-
one.
Oh,
There's a lot of tits in this movie for some reason.
that floating tits, man. That was great.
Floating
too.
tits. We'll get to that. Put a pin in that. We'll get to those floating tits. But she's throwing it back for a real one, and the head bites the ass. And I'm just like, what is this? And it flies, and the head's flying in the air, bites her, and then Fantasy runs off. And the encounter is immediately disregarded by the other girls, because they're like, oh, your imagination's you're having overactive imagination. That happened. Bleh. And they go out to the well. They pull up the watermelon, and it's the watermelon. So they're like, you're making this up. Maybe Mac went down to the potato farm because they make fun of her and they call her fat. Which I'm like, girl, where? So they make jokes. And they're like, oh, maybe she went down to the potato farm.
She just eats a
Yeah.
lot. She doesn't really look overweight.
And I'm like, damn, she went down to the potato farm. That's rude. I mean,
Like-
but like girl potatoes though. I mean,
Like
get
you know
it.
how upset I was whenever they're like, yeah, you need to
Yeah.
stop eating, you're gaining weight, and I'm looking at her like, where like she has a round face, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, where is this weight? Because I don't see it.
I must have missed it. So from
like,
there,
I
go
was
on.
like,
Sorry.
I was like, girl, I wish I was that level of fat. Like, if I'm being honest.
So from there, they do start encountering other stuff that happens throughout the house. Also, there's a random white cat that appears throughout this whole fucking movie.
Oh, Blanche or
Blanche.
what?
Blanche.
Yeah,
Fucking
in
Blanche.
In
The
English, it'd be Blanche, but they call her Shiro. So either way works.
Yeah.
Well, because Shiro means white. Shiro means white in Japanese. But like the only reason why I remember that the cat's name is Blanche is because every time I hear it, it makes me think of Golden Girls.
This fucking white devil of a cat. I don't know where the fuck they're coming from. This cat was in the beginning with Gorgeous and then randomly appeared throughout the beginning and then ends up at the aunt's house. And you're like, where the fuck is this cat coming from?
He was waiting for them on the train.
Waiting for them on the train. This cat is like sentient to a level of humanity. Of human. You know there's something fishy about this fucking cat. I love this cat. Put a pin in it.
Fucking
This
love
cat is everything. So
this cat made this movie.
So there's other creepy shit happening throughout this house at the after the watermelon incident. Nothing really big.
Yeah, it's a lot
outside
of stuff that's happening in the background too. Like
the
not even getting focused on. Yeah.
The skeleton just throwing it, just jamming. He's just jamming.
Anytime he was in frame, that's all I was watching. Was just
He's having a silent disco moment.
I love him.
At some point, the ant disappears after entering a broken refrigerator. So this fucking bitch of an ant is fucking with fantasy so hard. She's a trolling ass bitch. Like after Mac disappears, she gets up from the wheelchair like she's perfectly fine. She's dancing around and chuckling to herself. And she's fucking around with fantasy, tricking her because no one believes anything she says. So she gets into this broken refrigerator and then she ends up on the ceiling dancing around like a fuck this heifer. I hate this bitch. She's just trolling fantasy so hardcore. Like she knows damn well no one's gonna believe her ass.
Like you wouldn't fucking do that though.
Oh, like, you know damn right I fucking would, but fuck this bitch.
You fucking
damn fucking right I would. The fuck?
You would like if it was like me and you in this fucking situation, and like let's say Indigo, and like you just would, I was just like he went inside the fridge, and like Indigo would be like, no, he didn't, and I'm just like, and I would like, haha, bitch, like I know you.
The ant had what's her name's eyeball in her mouth too. Like
yes.
Oh yeah, that was fucking funny.
This ant is a fucking journey.
Fucking menace.
She's a menace to society, and I live for her. So she just appears into her fridge and ends up on top of the ceiling on some beams and shit. And Fantasy's seeing all this, and like she's like pointing it out, and no one believes her. They open up the fridge and the fridge is fine and shit.
She's like, you're crazy. Like,
you're crazy.
And she's just all like, I'm not lying.
And then from there, the girls are attacked by possessed items throughout the house.
And then Kung Fu was just like doing her shit, yo.
Oh, Kung Fu! I swear, Kung
Fu like the most underrated part of this movie.
God, she's a treasure. She's having these whole. She's fucking doing Jet Li shit here, okay? Like.
Meanwhile, like in her chones, that's the thing. Like,
all cheeked up, yeah, that's fucked up.
The way I can the way I can describe this movie is this movie plays out like it would if it was animated as a Japanese anime, but it's live action. It's literally playing out like an anime. Right down to the camp.
Kung Fu is secretly Sailor Jupiter.
She does like Sailor Jupiter. She does.
You're right. You're
She's
right.
just chopping wood, and then the wood attacks her, and then she's like, "What was that all
Yes.
about?"
And then she jumps in the air, just has this whole scene surrounded by lights and color, and she just wrecking shit.
Meanwhile, her
flips and-
skirt gets like fucking ripped off of her too.
Yeah, and she's just out in her panty galore. So from there, stuff is happening around the house. She starts seeing other items, wood, whatever else. And then Gorgeous becomes being obsessed with her aunt's mirror.
Yeah.
And then
I don't-
Sweet.
I don't remember
Mhm.
where they slide it in. But they do in a really weird spot where they kind of explain the aunt's backstory.
Yes.
Did
That
we already get to
she-
that part?
No, we have not.
Yeah, we hadn't covered it yet.
But
Okay.
I think it's around this point though where they show like the aunt's backstory that she was a widower because I think or either that or she was waiting for her fiance who was a military man to
Yeah.
come back, but he never came back, and she's sure he lived, but he never came back to her, so she stayed up in that house this whole time.
Like they literally showed like a little montage of her husband in a what was it, like a little airplane, little biplane in World War II going down. Like he was dead. He's gone.
This movie was playing out like a telenovela in some
Yeah,
parts, like a straight up
definitely.
telenovela in Japan, like straight up, like it was serving.
It's like it's a Japanese drama. That's it. That's all it was. There's a
They served and I ate. It's fine.
there's a joke that gets put around about K-dramas as well. Like car crashes in America and then how they are, and then car crashes in Korea. And it's
Dramatic.
like the dude is like floating in air for like a good like 5 minutes as like a dramatic
Oh,
song is playing.
it's almost as bad as Bollywood dramas.
Oh no, I
my
live for
God.
K-dramas, dude. The dramas, I live for that kind of drama. I
No,
love watching that.
Girl, the K dramas wish they are dramatic as the Indian dramas. Okay, like the girl gets slapped in the face by her mother-in-law and then turns around and chokes herself out with a fucking what do they call it, with a God,
No, with
some
curtain.
cloth.
It was
With a curtain. She spins around
I've seen that.
and then chokes herself.
I've seen that. So like this movie is literally like Bollywood and K-drama like got together, had a baby, and then like, that's that movie.
And then
It's
learned
so
from
great.
her auntie Tia from the fucking telenovelas. Yeah, straight up. It's great. And this movie ain't good. So again, then from there, Sweet gets disappears after being attacked by mattresses.
Oh my God, yeah.
Mattresses start falling on top of her, and then she disappears. And the girls try to escape the house, but after Gorgeous is able to leave through the door, the rest of the girls find themselves locked in. So she leaves, and the door, and then get locked into the house. The girls then try to find the aunt to unlock the door, but discover Mac's severed hand in a jar.
Yeah.
And then Melody, who apparently has a thing with piano. Oh my God, the piano. So she begins to play the piano to keep the girl's spirit up. And then they hear Gorgeous singing upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
As Prof and Kung Fu go in to investigate, Melody's fingers get bitten off by the piano. It's so great. So great. So let me paint a picture for you. She's playing the piano, and then the little thing that covers the keys slams down, and she raises up her hands, and she says, according to the subtitles, my fingers are gone. And then she puts her hands back down again to play, and it chops down again, and she's like, my arm. And it's like there's a pause, and then she starts screaming.
And then it just starts to eat her.
And then it just starts eating her.
Can't get
devouring
it.
her.
She goes in through the keys, comes out through
She does.
where the strings are, and
bitch,
it's literally just
bitch.
her down.
Yeah, just
Bitch.
tangled up in the piano wire, and
Yeah,
it's
power
just
down.
like the
And
top of the piano is opening and closing on her.
Bitch. And then the floating tits.
And then like her head like floats out of it, and then
And she's
like,
laughing.
and then she's like, "That's naughty," and I'm like, "What the fuck?"
And then it's just every time it slams down, comes back up, her body parts are flying about, and you see floating tits for some reason. And I'm like, why? Okay, I guess. Whatever. Fucking weird, Japan. Got it. So she gets eaten whole by the piano, and there's blood and guts everywhere. And you get this cool scene of the fingers still playing the music as it slams onto the fingers, and you see blood gushing out. Then we go upstairs, and Kung Fu and Pro find Gorgeous wearing a bridal gown,
Oh yeah.
who then reveals her aunt's diary to them. Kung Fu then follows Gorgeous as she leaves the room, only to find Sweet's body trapped in the grandfather clock, which starts to bleed profusely. Girl, this movie, everything. Panic is ensued by the remaining girls as they barricade upstairs in the upper part of the house. Pro Fantasy and Kung Fu read the answer, and that's where we get the whole backstory. And then they're interrupted by a giant-sized head of Gorgeous, who reveals to her aunt died many years ago, waiting for her fiance after return from World War II, and that her spirit remains. Avi. Again, the house has been unkept for a good 30 or 40 years. So, of course, she's been dead the whole time. Eating, and then her aunt's spirit has been eating unmarried girls who arrive at the home. The girls are again attacked by household items. Pro shouts to Kung Fu to attack the aunt's cat, Blanche, as Kung Fu lingers into a flying kick. He is eaten by the light fixture. So this part, oh God, I wasn't ready. So she's like, I got this. And she goes up to attack. And then the light fixture comes up and eats and like takes half of her up, like it's eating her. And then there's a bunch of lights and colors and flashes. Also, if you have epilepsy, don't watch this movie.
Yeah.
It's so good, but there's a lot of flashing lights and very bright colors.
Red, greens. Yeah, definitely. Stay away from it.
Oh yeah.
Seizure prone.
So as the light fixture eats Kung Fu's lower half shoots out. God, I'm not ready.
Oh,
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
It shoots out and hits the painting of the cat. Again, the cat has been around every single time. When one of the girls dies, this cat is right there, and you see a glistening of green in its eyes, and that's when the girls die. Each and every time, the cat is right there. And you kind of get the idea that maybe this is a familiar or some shit. I think the Blanche is running around doing some fucking food randomly and hits the painting, and then we get a kaleidoscope of fuckery of the scenes of the cat freaking out and a bunch of other bright colors and shit. And there's a cat meme. Me and Housekeeper, we saw this and we screamed. I'm surprised Indigo didn't fucking hear us cackling and screaming at the top of our fucking lungs.
I think
he did.
He just didn't come downstairs.
He just didn't come down to. We were losing our fucking collective minds because there's this meme of a cat panicking, and it's such a great face. I use it on daily for GIFs on the daily, and I never knew where the origin of that cat meme is, but now I do. It's this movie, and we were just losing our fucking minds. It's so great.
It's really funny because Groupie was sitting there watching it too, but he wasn't paying
Kaiju Groupie.
Yeah, Kaiju Groupie. He was watching the movie with us too, and
he wasn't as invested as we were.
No, he was looking away for a minute, and then we like collectively lost our minds, and then he's like, "What is it? What did I miss?" And he had to like rewind it, and watching it a second time.
Oh, so great. So great. I watched that scene on repeat. I watched it a few more times. Just that scene alone. It's so good.
It's so good.
That scene made the movie for me. Period.
It did. It did.
If
for
it
me
wasn't the
too.
twerking scene or the random old lady going to the fridge, it was this. It was so good.
Or the dancing skeleton.
Or the dancing fucking skeleton. He was throwing it back and jamming to the piano. He was living his life. We
Mind you,
stand a skeleton.
this piano, so the song she was playing on the piano wasn't one that you could fucking throw down to, but man, was he fucking
He was trying.
he was doing his best, and I was like, you know what, work.
It will work. So,
The fucking cat though.
so the kung fu legs hit the cat, and the cat, which in turn kills the cat physically. Anyway,
The cat does
And-
the panicking cat meme.
yeah.
Guys.
First off, I wish I could be on set watching them trying to get this cat to panic like that.
Yeah.
I want to see it. Were they trying to shake the cat? Were they like, ah? Like I want to be on set. I want to be a fly on the wall for that. So then the painting spouts blood and causes the room to flood. Prov tries to read the diary, but a jar with teeth pulls her into the blood. Like again, the set design for this movie, for it being in the 70s, it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It was like, damn, how I want to know how they did some of these scenes, like this scene with the blood and the teeth pulling in Prov. Like I want to see how they do it, how they did it. Because it caught my interest. And then of course it's just fantasy left pretty much. And she sees Gorgeous in the bridal gown and paddles towards her. And again, Gorgeous appears as her aunt in the reflection in the blood, and then cradles fantasy. Then we jump to the morning. The next morning, Gorgeous's new stepmom arrives at the house to find Gorgeous in a classic kimono. And Gorgeous tells her stepmom that her friends will wake up soon and that they will be hungry. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that fucking mean? Hello. And she then shakes hands with her stepmom and burns her away to nothing. Like, let me tell you, okay, so hey, paint a picture. This woman walks into the room. There's a wind blowing her hair and a scarf, but there's no wind in fucking sight. I don't know how the fuck this bitch was doing some witchcraft because her hair was blowing. She was having a telenovela moment. But you go to Gorgeous, and Gorgeous' hair is not moving at all. But yet, all the wind randomly just flows past her. Like she's just like her stepmom is gorgeous, and I'm just like, that's funny. And then she shakes her hand, and then she bursts into flames, and I'm like, get it, girl, get it, fuck her up. And the film ends with a epigraph by the aunt about the enduring nature of love. And the credits roll, and it shows, I guess, the actress that plays Gorgeous out of character or some shit.
I'm sorry, what was that word?
Is it epigraph? E-P-I-G...
Epitaph?
Epitaph. I'm dyslexic. What do you think?
Okay.
Epitaph? That's how you say epitaph?
Epitaph. Let me see the word.
For you,
I need to see it.
E-P-I graph. Graph.
Where
Interesting.
Where put that in the chat. Let me see the word.
I'm probably mispronouncing it. Again, my dyslexia is
Maybe.
fucking terrible.
But that sounds like an odd word. Also.
It's an odd word.
Which is why, that's why I asked.
I have never
I'm
heard
like-
of the word epigraph. I've heard of the word epitaph.
That's what
Hold
I was
on.
thinking.
Is it epitaph?
Hold
It's a
on.
phase. It's a phrase or a poem that is set in the beginning of a document, a monograph, epigraph.
A short quotation or saying at the beginning of a book or chapter. Epigraph.
Oh,
Epigraph.
okay.
Okay, I was right.
Word of the day.
You learn something new every day.
I thought my dyslexia was playing tricks on me again.
I thought so too. That's
Oh.
why I asked.
Right. So she says this thing about enduring nature of love, and then the credits roll. That pretty much ends the movie. This movie So good. I loved it. I will always love it. If I ever meet new people that have never seen this movie, I'm showing them this. I'm showing them this movie first. Like, y'all want to see a fucking weird ass, fucking kooky, campy ass movie? This is the first one you're going to see from me. So good. So I was living. Any symbolism, Bunyip?
I like how
If there is.
we never talked about Mr. Togo.
Oh, Mr. Toga, the teacher that they always have a thing for.
He's barely in it.
It wasn't important.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
know.
wasn't important.
It wasn't important. It was weird.
Kind of is important.
I mean, I guess it kind of is. I didn't want to address it because it's weird.
It's weird.
It is
It's-
because they're
it's
like,
pedo-y.
he'll say this, but really he just thinks of it as like, I'm just gonna go visit their house, but he takes his sweet time doing so.
I just,
Oh, he
like,
dies.
Okay, so like I'm all up for, girls crushing on their teachers, like it happens
He's not
all
even
the
cute.
time. That's what I was about to go
Not
for.
even-
Not
yeah.
even cute. Not
Like-
even close.
Like I had a crush on a few of my teachers, I'm not gonna lie, but like
Same.
dude, the mutton chops, bro.
Mutton chops.
It's the fucking mutton chops for me, man. I was like, I can't.
Oh,
How
but
do
yeah,
you
no.
think this guy is handsome?
But no, he does go up there, but he does die.
Yeah, rip to the professor.
He
R.I.P..
runs into the watermelon man. It's like, don't you want a watermelon? No, I don't like watermelons. What do you like then? Banana. And then the next
Doesn't
morning,
he get
he's
turned into
turned into a
fucking
pile of bananas.
bananas?
He turns
like,
into a pop.
why?
Like, why not?
Because he's like,
You
fuck
know-
you and your bananas. Oh my god, have you watched that Dole banana commercial
Yes.
from Japan?
Yes.
That's what he turned into.
I know which one you're talking about. See,
Banana
with this movie, with everything that happens, I'm like, I'm not even gonna question it. I'm like, should be more. This movie ate. I ate good today. My God. So
One
again,
margarita too. We watched this after one margarita.
we did. It was
Imagine-
great.
Imagine if we watched this like either like just shit faced drunk or like high as balls.
Oh, again, this movie would have been fantastic, high or drunk. Like either one or both, just damn. So again, Bunya Bang, any symbolism of any kind?
That marriage is scary.
That's true.
I'll try to explain it. In the beginning of the movie, when they're about to celebrate their summer vacation, they run across one of their gym teachers. And she says that she's getting married, and they're like, "Oh, are you getting married out of love?" And she goes, "No, it's an arranged marriage." And she sort of has this somber smile as the kids run off. Like, summer vacation, that sounds nice. And you're like, huh, okay. And then Gorgeous's father he's like, "I've got a companion," and it's Ryoko. And then Gorgeous is against this because I guess she sees it as like a replacement for her mom who passed away 9 years ago.
Which is fair. Like teenagers do feel that way sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she didn't accept it right away. And then later, hang on a sec.
Well, at first it seemed like she was going to accept it, but then what was it? She mentioned that she was going to come. Oh, no. Okay, so he said
decided
I'm going
not
to bring
go on that trip.
Yeah, we're going to bring a friend on the trip. And then he's like, "Oh, and this is her. By the way, she's going to be your new mom." And then that's when she started freaking out.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, that was a shit move on the dad's part.
Yeah.
Like you can't just drop that shit on somebody. Like you have to talk to your kids, man. Like my son's only 9, and I'm like, hey, is it okay? Like I asked him, I was like, how do you feel about me dating someone? He goes like, go for it, mom. I want you to be happy. And I was like, I fucking love you, man. like I talked to him because I was like, it affects his life too,
Mm-hmm.
That is fair. I know some people that wouldn't talk to their child about that would just do it. So it's good. I mean, it's good to always have communication about that.
Exactly. Healthy parenting, y'all. Healthy
Healthy parenting 101. Continue. Sorry.
And I think some of the girls mentioned like maybe wanting to get married. Like they all mentioned they have a crush on Mr. Togo, but I don't know if they are like, I want to get married to this man or something like that. But marriage does keep popping up as a theme, such as with the aunt wanting to get married to the man who went off to war and didn't come back.
Yeah.
And as revenge, she kills all the unmarried people or the unmarried girls that show up. And to her convenience, 7 of them show up. And they're
He goes
all.
after unmarried girls. I would go after married girls.
Yeah, I wondered that too. I'm like, wouldn't she be jealous of people who are married? And also, these are all high school age girls who would probably not be married at this time. So it's just all set up to where no one's gonna live.
It actually wouldn't be that crazy if they weren't, or at least in had arranged marriages set up. I actually had a friend in high school who was in an arranged marriage.
Oh, and this ain't
Yeah, yeah. He was from his I think it was his father who was Japanese and his mother who's an American.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah,
That's still a thing. That's still
Yeah.
a thing in some parts. Yeah.
okay.
Unfortunately, I would think it's far in between nowadays. But
oh, definitely. He was the only person I ever met that's been like that. But yeah, this.
it's like, sir, we're not in the 40s anymore. 50s. Arranged marriage shouldn't be a thing. Period.
And so the way the girls are killed usually pertain to their trait.
It does.
It does.
Yeah, like Sweet had maybe one of the saddest deaths because she's just cleaning the house, and then all those mattresses pile on top of her, and then when the other girls find her, they just see a doll, like just some naked doll,
Yeah.
and then they find Sweet stuck in a clock that grinds her to blood and guts. Just things like that. I'm formulating my thoughts. Just give me a moment.
You're fine.
And I suppose the symbolism with Mr. Togo would just be that, like, they're relying on him to save him, even though I think they invited him over to visit the house, but he's like, I'm going to be late because I got a bucket stuck on my ass. And that
it's
one kid's
very-
like drumming on the pail. And it's like, what's this kid doing?
It's very odd that a teacher goes to spend time with high school girls during summer break.
True. I think it's like the girls romanticizing that a hero will save them, but really, he doesn't do a good job. He doesn't even make it in time,
No, he turned into a fucking pile of bananas.
which happened to be a phallic symbol.
Oh my god.
I hate everything.
No.
I was like, why banana? Oh.
Why'd you have to put that in my head?
You put far worse
Oh,
things in my
God.
head.
God.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm sure there's a little more to it. I may have to watch it more times. But basically, it's like marriage is scary, and if you're not married, this ghost lady witch is going to kill you.
Oh shit.
Aging will come and get you.
Yes.
It can also comment. It could also be like commentary on how women, especially in Japan, women see like how being single is at certain ages.
Yeah.
Like because like after a certain age they feel like they're undesirable, and usually it's like after 30 or like close to 40 years old or over than 40, like somewhere around that time frame. Like
Mhm.
they're like, oh well, I'm still single, I'm not married yet, and I'm this old, I am undesirable.
Or some traits are punished, like Mac and her penchant for eating food. Because I think she's the first to go.
Yeah, Mac is.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd marry a girl who's got a mouth on her like a horse.
What?
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 Because she eats a lot?
Oh, he's like, oh, okay.
Where do you think I was going with this?
I have no idea, honestly.
Yeah, I did. I was just like, please explain.
Confusion.
I'm like, I don't see a problem with someone who likes to eat a lot.
Yeah, it's just. I think it's just a cultural thing. Like,
Probably.
Okay, so what is the rating system for today?
Psycho Kitties,
Panicking cat
Panicking
memes.
panicking cats. That's fine.
Panicking cats.
Pink cat, dancing skeleton.
I have a feeling Dancing Skeleton is gonna come up in our August movies.
Oh my god, yes it will.
Oh yes, it will.
We'll stick
Oh,
with panicking cats. Yeah.
Panicking cat meme. So how many panicking cats out of 5 is everyone gonna rate this?
Look, this movie was a trip, but it was a trip that I highly enjoyed watching. I understood everything that was happening as well, so I wasn't as confused as I was last week. And you know what? I'm gonna give it a 4.
4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 panicking cat memes. I'm 5 out of 5 because this movie was a treasure. It's a gem. It's gonna be in my top. It's gonna be easily in my top 50. Easily up there. Ooh, at least in my top 50, if not like top 20. Like it's so good. If you love camp, comedy, horror, and just weird films, this movie should be top of your goddamn list. Period. And if you want to know where the cat meme comes from, girl,
We gotta tweet it.
Girl.
Hold on, I gotta tweet it.
we gotta tweet it.
I'm.
Oh my god,
tweeting
we
it.
haven't even used Twitter in like eons.
Yeah, for real. I'm doing a bad job. I'm fired. I'm
You're
firing
right, I forgot.
myself.
You're not
I-
fired.
I'm firing myself.
You're not fired. But no, this movie, 5 out of 5, fantastic. Again, I'm a whore for camp. So this movie is camp. And I love the sassiness of the aunt, and she's a vibe and a mood. And that skeleton is the homie, is the real one. And and this movie is just so fucking weird. Floating tits at least 3 times during the movie. Why? Why?
Wrong one.
But again, you shouldn't ask why. Part of the charm of this movie is how weird it fucking is. Also, Criterion, the company who owns this movie, if you don't know about Criterion, they're the ones that go around and they get older films to keep them preserved so they don't disappear into the ether. So
That's cool.
when Barnes and Noble has their Criterion sale, I'm gonna go hunt down the house on Blu-ray and I'm gonna add this movie to my fucking collection. So good. So if you haven't watched it, it's on Max. So we got a 4 out of 5 and a 5 out of 5 so far.
I'm gonna go next. So this is one of those movies makes me feel like I might come off sounding like a hypocrite, but because I think everyone, if you've been listening long enough, you know that camp is not necessarily my thing. I'm very specific when it comes to my camp. This one kind of just hit all the right buttons for me. Like it was campy in an endearing way for me. Like it felt like there was actual effort put in, and it wasn't made for like. There were a lot of stupid jokes, but they felt like they were actually funny, and that I could understand where they were coming from, not just stupid for stupid sake.
Yeah.
So this one I definitely would rate on a higher scale than any other campy movies I've seen lately. Ghost Prisoners of Ghost Town. So I think I'm gonna get to give this one 4. I will say a solid 4.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting a
okay,
4. Okay,
okay.
work.
Okay.
Yeah, there were parts in the story where it did lose me, and it felt like it was a fever dream, but that didn't make it worse. It just added to the campiness, which was pretty funny. Yeah.
Bunya?
4 out of 5.
Okay. All right. What'd you like about it?
I like just about everything. Shoot, I don't really know what else to add because there was said everything. I guess Japan is more lenient on nudity because there were several nude shots, and it's like, why are we holding on this? Whatever.
It was-
Don't ask questions.
It was
I
also,
mean,
it was also the 70s too.
Japan is very lenient when it comes to
Oh,
a lot more lenient than people are over here. So
well, to be fair, like Western culture has really sexualized. And what I mean by Western culture, I mean America.
Yeah.
Has been very known to sexualize the female body more than what they do overseas. And I mean like highly sexualize the female body to the point where we see any type of female body part that including boobs like it we think of it as lewd compared to you know overseas where not a lot it's not viewed that way as much
to be fair, isn't it you can kind of, I mean,
I wouldn't go there.
It's
I have a
not-
feeling I know where you're going.
do you think
I wouldn't go there.
do you feel like I know I'm going
Yeah.
with this?
I wouldn't go there.
I mean, it's kind of anime's fault in a way. They didn't help contribute to the problem of that, to be fair.
Mm.
I mean, High School of the Dead. High School
listen,
DxD.
this movie came out before those shows.
No,
Yeah.
but still, modern day sexualizing Japan is just as bad as America in some ways. They're not helping the problem in any way either.
They also have a festival that's just dedicated to dicks. So
That is true. They do.
And vagina, like it's literally nothing but reproductive system. Like
Oh, I know. Oh no, I'm not saying that America's not guilty. I'm not saying America's not guilty because they are. We are.
No,
this country is, but of course, overseas don't help matters either.
But does America have a whole ass festival that's just nothing but dicks and vagina? And don't say the Burning Man, that doesn't fucking count. I mean like a legit fucking festival where there's like a parade, there's like food that's shaped like that. Like they are celebrating the reproductive system, both male and female.
Okay, I'll be the one to say it. What month is it this month?
I mean, at the time of the recording,
tell me all about it so I cannot go and attend it.
At the time of this recording, it is still Pride Month. So, I mean...
No, but he's asking when the festival is in Japan.
Yeah, but you're also adding in parts about sexualization and having festivals of it. I'm like,
I mean, Pride is kind of that.
Well,
a celebration of sexuality.
No, that's not what Pride is. That's not what Pride is. That's not how it started, and that's not what's supposed to be.
But it is now. It's a month for LGBT.
Yes, but Pride started off as riots because
yes, I know that.
Because our community got fucking tired. Not even our community. It was trans women and drag queens.
Yes,
that started it.
Yes.
And that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like, yo, like we're fucking here. We're here, we're queer, and we're fucking proud. Period.
Yes.
It's like the way that it's turned out now, like, yeah, it kind of is over sexualized. But
it's a celebration about that. It's not a celebration necessarily about a particular body part, but it's a celebration over sexuality as a whole particularly the LGBT.
and sexuality and gender.
Yes,
And
sexuality and gender.
Actually, you know what? It's
Identity.
celebration of identity. Period.
That accompanies all of that. Yes.
Yeah, because straight allies go too.
Yes.
You know,
We love our straight allies. Ally.
we love them. We love ally. Ally.
And I was just trying to say I noticed the nudity of the movie. I just wasn't offended by it. I just had questions.
I was just like, why is there tits on my screen?
I'm just
I
like,
was-
I was just like, okay, floating tits.
I was thinking, oh, it's a horror movie in the 70s. Obviously, there's gonna be nudity.
Wait, I need to look. I need to look.
Now
Okay,
I'm interested in like the history of this. Like in the 1901s in America, it's like if a woman showed her wrist, it was like scandalous. But then now it's like normal.
Okay, I was looking. Ooh, oh, okay. The main character. Who was the character that had the that it was her boobs that was shown? Was it the
Melody? It was Melody.
Melody. Let me look at because I was like, I hope these girls are 18. The main character was 16, 17 when the film was made, but it was released when she was 18. Melody, let me look her up. She was born in. What year were you born in, girl? She was born. Oh my God! It does not say her birthday.
You also like, and I'm not. I fucking hate saying this shit because it sounds like I am advocating, and I agree with it. You also have to realize the age of consent over in Japan.
Yeah, different cultures.
Different cultures.
Well, nowadays it's like what, 17, 16, 17, something like
It's
that?
16 right now.
I thought they
It's
raised it to
16 right
18.
Well, I mean, but think about in the 70s in Japan with the age
Yeah,
of
in the
consent.
70s it
yeah.
was much lower.
Exactly. So, like, again, I'm not advocating for it. I don't approve of it. I think it's fucking disgusting. But back in the day, like 16-year-olds were considered okay to look at and put in movies.
Yeah, they're not showing her birthday like at all. I have no idea how old she would have been.
Again,
I was assuming probably around 16 to 18, somewhere around there.
I'm reiterating, I do not approve of showing teenage nudity. I don't approve of it. But again, different cultures, you know, a different time period, different cultures.
Yeah. And then and then you can easily have a whole conversation on how that is a problem in Japan to this day as well. But again, this is the wrong podcast for that.
Exactly. That's something like for Two Bottoms and a Top to go into.
Yes, because that's a battle that Japan's been tackling for quite some time. I mean, other countries, Japan's just in the light about it, but there are other countries, obviously overseas, and especially honestly around the world, they're all having the same issue and conversation about all that. But nonetheless, wrong podcast. But just before warned, there are most likely underage boobs shown on.
So if you're not comfortable with
Most
that,
likely.
don't watch
She's
it.
my guess. Exactly. It's not in a sexual manner necessarily. It's more in a comedic manner, but the warning is there.
Or clinical.
Or clinical. Yeah, floating boobs. It's
Floating boobs.
Like-
yeah,
like
totally clinical.
Gorgeous is taking a bath and she gets
the
out,
bath.
and it doesn't
Oh,
like
the bath.
zoom in or anything. It doesn't. It's
No,
not like
it's just
whoa.
there.
It just
Yeah,
you
it's
just
just
see it.
there.
It's just
Just
there.
there.
Just there. So
Again-
most likely, my guess, she is around. Well, Gorgeous was 16 or 17 when the time probably making it. So she was at least 17. 17 in Japan, I think currently is what the age of consent is 17, 16. So you can assume back then it was around the same age. Who knows? I'm not gonna look that up. It's probably a rabbit hole that I do not want to go down. So Melody was probably at least somewhere between the ages of 16 to 18. Anyway, that is there for your warning. Watch with your own leisure, but it's not prominent. It's just there. And you're too busy laughing about the insanity of the film anyway to really notice unless you're looking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the average? We got all 4s and 1 5. 3 4s and a 5. 0.2. What?
4.25.
4.25. If you want to watch this movie,
$4.25.
$4.25. So if you want to go watch this movie, it is on Max as of right now. Please do yourself a favor and watch this movie. Again, watch it with friends. It's a hilarious time. I don't know if I would have enjoyed this film as much if I didn't watch it with the housekeeper and Kaiju Groupie.
And if you have been living under a rock for the past like 2 weeks, Max is what they're now calling the HBO Max app.
Yes. Because it combined with the Discovery app and blah, 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 blah. So that is today's episode. Thank you guys for listening. I don't know when this episode's coming out, but happy 4th of July if you're an American.
Yeah.
This episode is probably going to come out after or around, who knows? Who knows when I'll post this episode? It'll be sometime in July. But yeah, join us next time I talk about something else. Until then, bye.
Goodbye.
No bye, housekeeper?
I said bye.
Oh.